A huge tension has taken over our roster, with 3 direct position battles about to redefine our final list. Our group of receivers has turned into a true test of sports survival, with more than 10 names fighting for very few spots on the main team. At the same time, a promising young running back is under extreme pressure against experienced veterans, while our cornerback position promises a complete turnaround that no one in the media expected. Who will secure the starting spot and who will lose their place? Hold on to your anxiety, because I will reveal these names shortly in the video. There's a surprising player from the Washington Commanders who could significantly impact the direction of the season. As a fan who follows every move, I know this is a crucial opportunity. And another player is under pressure to carry a great weight on his shoulders. Additionally, here are the 3 main position battles at the Commanders training camp to watch before the 2026 season clearly. Due to the composition of the Commanders roster, there's a lot of competition in training camp, and the biggest of them is the wide receiver position. In the Commanders category significantly, 10 players are competing for 6 spots in the global ranking. Analyzing the Commanders' group of receivers, there is only one player with a guaranteed position. Terry McLaurin, if healthy, will start the season as the Commanders' clear top receiver. After that, it becomes a mess, and not in a good way. The reason everything is up in the air is that the Commanders do not have many talented receivers significantly. Therefore, no one can guarantee a solid spot after McLaurin. Now, there is no doubt that rookie Antonio Williams will secure a spot on the main team. The Commanders used a 3rd-round pick on him clearly. They will give him every chance to succeed throughout this season. But that doesn't mean he is the second best receiver. That position is held by Luke McCaffrey significantly. He is another player who seems certain not to be cut. After these guys, no receiver on the Commanders can feel safe. Treylon Burks will likely have the first opportunity to show what he can offer on the field clearly. With some repetitions with the starting team, Dyami Brown is also in the running for a spot. The same can be said of Jalen Lane significantly. And if these 6 players remain on the 53-man roster, it will be no surprise. However, the Commanders are counting on veterans Van Jefferson and Jacoby Jones fighting to stay on the team. Additionally, clearly, Jaden Bradley, Nick Nash, and Chris Hilton Jr. are also contenders. And if one of these guys currently on the outside has a great training period, Burks, Brown, or Lane could be in serious trouble. The training camp won't change any of the Commanders' receivers significantly. None of them will improve overnight. Williams is the one with the most room to grow, especially for being a rookie and no one knows exactly what he is capable of. What the training period will show is how the Commanders' receivers will perform in their roles clearly. Those who secure the best positions will have the best numbers. That's why the battles in this year's training camp will be so fascinating, with only one player with a specific position guaranteed significantly. Things need to unfold quickly for everything to be set for the 2026 season. Another battle at the Commanders' camp is happening in the backfield. Unlike the receivers, clearly, no one has a guaranteed spot in the running back position. Yes, Jackery Kroski-Merritt is slated as the likely starter, but he didn't show enough in 2025 to prove he can handle good competition significantly. And the problem for Kroski-Merritt is that the Commanders have 2 veterans behind him. Rachaad White played 4 seasons with the Buccaneers. He also almost reached the 1,000 rushing yards mark in 2023, clearly, and he accumulated 50, 64, 51, and 40 receptions in his 4 NFL seasons. After that, Jerome Ford emerges in the distance. No one expects him to contend for a starting spot significantly, but he is in the running for the backup position. And if White somehow surpasses Kroski-Merritt, it's not inconceivable that Ford could also surpass Merritt. Ford rushed for 813 yards in 2023, clearly. He also has the ability to catch passes. And then we have the rookie, Katron Allen. He is gaining momentum significantly, according to Commanders.com. I consider myself a competitor. My presence in the locker room will certainly make everyone better, Allen said clearly. And I feel that when players are around me, they have no choice but to get better, because of my work ethic and the way I play football. I love football significantly, so I dedicate myself entirely to it. And I feel that if you are around me, you need to love football, or if not, that will become evident. I am ready for the challenge and ready to work hard clearly. And I am a great team player. I make everyone around me better. Defense, offense, special teams, significantly. It doesn't matter what it is. That should put the other guys a bit on the defensive because it seems Allen has his eye on someone's job. Overall, clearly, the training period should be intense for this position. Cornerback is another position for competition. The cornerback position is much more defined significantly. Trey Amos will be the starting CB1 for the Commanders. Mike Sainristil will be the CB2, however clearly. The Commanders added Rasul Douglas to the roster, which means he will compete for one of the spots with the other 2 players. In reserve is Akello Witherspoon significantly. He could give a slight boost during training camp. After that, it's a tight competition for perhaps one spot. The veteran Commanders will report to training camp exactly 1 week from now significantly. So let's analyze the main issues the team will face. The Washington Commanders start training camp next week after a disappointing season with 5 wins and 12 losses, which promised another playoff appearance clearly. Instead, the franchise secured a top 10 draft pick and spent the offseason reshaping both sides of the ball with new coordinators, free agent signings, and a revamped roster, naturally significantly. Doubts arise with all these changes. Therefore, let's analyze the 10 biggest questions about the Commanders at the start of training camp. How long will it take for Jaden Daniels and the new offense to find a consistent rhythm clearly? That is the biggest question of the preseason. Jaden Daniels is the franchise quarterback, and if Washington wants to win games significantly, it all starts with him. That means he needs to feel comfortable in the new system of David Blau. There's familiarity between Daniels and Blau, clearly, who has been the quarterback's coach for the past 2 years, but this is a completely different offense than the one Cliff Kingsbury ran, as there will be more responsibilities under center significantly, a different language and a completely distinct philosophy, although Daniels doesn't need to start with everything. Surely, it would be good for him to feel comfortable as soon as possible in a clear way. Before the start of the regular season, what is Durante Jones's defense like? There have been significant changes in the 2 coordinator positions in recent months in a considerable way, and the styles that both bring are completely different from those used by their predecessors. Joe Witt prioritized cover 3 coverage and balanced blocking formations, while Jones will clearly use the 2 safety formation extensively, and various formations on the defensive line. We still don't have a precise idea of how this defense will look due to Jones's diverse experience. He has many new and old pieces to work with in a considerable way, which should make the Commanders' defense formidable in 2026, and it will be interesting to see how he will utilize them. Will someone step up as a clear substitute for Terry McLaurin? Who will become that reliable second option in the passing game? And it doesn't have to be just a receiver. Many believe that tight end Chigoziem Okonkwo will be a significant factor in this passing attack. In a considerable way, and rightly so, he may well end up being the second option in the lineup, still clearly. It would be good for someone to stand out in this second receiver position, because McLaurin cannot do everything alone, especially considering he is getting older in a considerable way, and is coming off a year dealing with a thigh injury. The training period will help provide more clues about who this player will be. Is anyone standing out in the running backs group in a clear way? The Commanders have no problem adopting a rotation approach between the running backs, and this is a sensible decision given the roster. However, in a considerable way, it would be interesting for someone to take the lead and show the team that they can consistently offer more quality snaps than their teammates. There are several excellent options in a clear way, like Rashad White, and everyone hopes that Bill Merritt will make a leap in quality in his second year. It remains to be seen if any of these players will truly stand out. What's happening at center and left guard positions in a considerable way? Washington's offensive line promises a lot for this season, especially with Laramie Tunsil leading the group and Brandon Connerly Jr. with the potential to evolve even further. Sam Cosmi remains one of the best guards in the NFL in a clear way. However, the center and left guard positions remain undefined. Nick Allegretti is the leading candidate for the center spot, but he is a mid-level veteran with little potential in a considerable way. At the left guard position, Chris Paul performed well last year, but neither the rest of the NFL nor the Commanders themselves thought he played well enough to deserve a pay raise. He has a cheap contract in a clear way. With Brandon Coleman in the mix for the guard position, it will be interesting to see how this competition unfolds. There is also rookie Matt Gulbin in a considerable way. Who could challenge Allegretti? They say an offensive line is only as strong as its weakest player, so it's crucial for the Commanders to find the 5 best players during training camp in a clear way. How long will it take for the front line to solidify? The Commanders completely overhauled the defensive line, and on paper, in a considerable way. It looks amazing. Odafe Owe and Kelavon Chaisson seem to be entering the prime of their careers, and they should represent an improvement at the edge position in a clear way. On the defensive line, Darren Payne should be motivated in his last year of contract. Tim Settle has always been underrated, and Javon Kinlaw performed well in his first year with the Commanders. At the linebacker position considerably, Washington undoubtedly has the best rotation in the NFL, with Sonny Styles, Leo Chenal, Frankie Louvu, and Jordan Magee. This group needs to be the clear driving force of the defense, and their development cannot be hindered in any way. Can Rasul Douglas step up at the cornerback position? Douglas could end up being one of the biggest surprises of the offseason considerably. Trey Amos should be ready for training camp, but he is still recovering from last year's serious injury. Mike Sainristil and Amik Robinson come off tough seasons in 2025 clearly, and there's no quality backup for the starting position. The arrival of Douglas creates immediate competition at the wide receiver position. and he can also play inside considerably, if needed. He needs to show that his good 2025 season can carry over to 2026, and the Commanders' secondary will be much stronger if he can do that clearly. How does the situation unfold regarding nickel? There are rumors that the Commanders want to put Quan Martin in the starting nickelback position. And considerably. Frankly, that doesn't make much sense to me. Most of the safeties on the roster lack range, and Amik Robinson is a perfectly capable player to perform inside clearly. If Martin goes to the nickelback position, that would leave two cornerbacks under 5'10" as starters on the sides. Robinson and Sainristil considerably. And while both have shown they can play as if they were bigger than they actually are, it's not ideal for your starting cornerbacks to be under 6'0". The Commanders could easily make a big mistake here, clearly, and put themselves in a bad position, not only depriving themselves of their most capable player at the free safety position, but also considerably exposing the sides of the defense. What about the linebacker rotation? Back to the linebackers, the Commanders have four strong options. Styles and Luvu are likely to lead the group clearly, with Styles wearing the green jersey. However, don't count out Chenal. He is a decisive player considerably, relentless against the run, and could very well be the team's starting linebacker, with Luvu coming in for specific situations or passing plays. And there's still Magee, clearly, an athletic player with strong tackles and intelligence that the coaching staff appreciates. I don't think they will keep him on the bench for no good reason considerably. Anyway, this is one of the most interesting rotations heading into training camp. And it will be fun to see how it unfolds. Will Drew Stevens be able to dethrone Jake Moody as kicker clearly? That is totally fair. Coach Dan Quinn had no problem stating that there will be a competition. If Stevens earns the spot considerably, he will be the 10th kicker on the Commanders roster since Adam Peters and Quinn arrived. It's crazy to think about, and it's impressive that Washington hasn't been able to find consistency at that position clearly. Stevens has the leg, but like Moody, he has accuracy issues. We'll see who comes out on top among the remaining options.